Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's so good to see you all here. I am Ellen Bernard, board chair, and this evening I am standing in for our wonderful board president, James DeGraffenreich, who sends his best wishes, but unfortunately could not be with us this evening. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Walters Art Museum, it's my pleasure to welcome you tonight. We are so pleased that so many of you, elected officials, community and institutional partners, artists, cultural leaders, museum trustees, and city employees are joining us this evening to celebrate Baltimore. As you probably know, the Walters Art Museum is a public museum given by Henry Walters to the citizens of Baltimore for the benefit of the public. Everything we do here is with this public benefit in mind, from our free admission to our many exhibitions and programs. The Walters mission is to bring art and people together, to create a place where people of every background can be touched by art. I'm sure each of you have your own memory of your first visit to the Walters, and for many who grew up in Baltimore, their first exposure was on a school field trip. Remember that? I heard some hands raised from who went on the school field trip. School and teacher programs at the Walters provide students the opportunity to engage with art and deepen their education on a variety of levels. Annually, over 31,000 children and teachers take part in these programs. We truly are partners with Baltimore City in arts education. Last year, more than 7,800 Baltimore City students took part in one of the Walters School programs, with each receiving 2 or 3 educational experiences, not only in the museum, but also with museum staff working directly in their classrooms on programs that integrate with the core curriculum. The Walters remains committed to making museum and educational experiences available to all children. Our programs are provided free to schools. We have long recognized that transportation is a barrier to field trips, and we've committed a portion of our budget to covering schools' transportation costs. Last year, nearly $38,000 was distributed for school bus subsidies, enabling 5,200 children from Title I schools to come to the museum. I like to say, we will make it happen. The Walters offers something for everyone in our community, from programs for babies, which are overflowing, children, families, and adults, including art making, tours, lectures, concerts. Did you know that the Walters offers over 1,500 programs each year? Through our collaboration and network of cultural and educational partners, the Walters advances the arts and education in Baltimore and the state. The museum works with many dozens of art, community, cultural, and social service organizations in Baltimore. I would like to thank all of them, but it might take most of the evening. So for those who are with us tonight, can you please raise your hand if you are a partner with us? Don't be shy. We have lots of partners here. Thank you very much. You are what makes Walters a thriving arts organization, so thank you. Morgan State University is one of the Walters and Baltimore's anchor institutions, and since 2014, it has been one of our foremost strategic partners. We collaborate on academic courses, lectures, internships, and fellowships, and also on public programs. At our evening program, Morgan at the Walters, faculty and students give concert performances on Thursday nights when we are open till 9 p.m. I hope you'll all come on a Thursday night. It's awesome. Tonight, we are privileged to hear 2 songs performed by Samuel Springer, Morgan Professor of Music, and, in the smallest of worlds, the beloved minister of music at my church, Faith Presbyterian. Didn't know that until this week. It's Baltimore. And Kendrick Lee, a senior voice major at Morgan State. Thank you so much.
Well, the first piece is an aria from coming to us from China by way of Italy, and it is from the opera Turandot. Kalaf, who has gotten himself into some hot water, kind of like my own life, is trying to save his life by the entire city has to figure out what his name is. Elsewise, he's going to die. So he has decided to, he basically says that he's going to win at the very end of it and get to marry the princess. The second piece is from The Man of La Mancha, and basically following the story of Don Quixote. And it is basically fighting for the glorious quest.
To want to say, you heard it here at the Walters. Luciano Pavarotti, watch out. Thank you, Samuel and Kendrick. I have not cried here in this sculpture court, but hearing Nessun Dorma from you, Kendrick, was incredible. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm the loudmouth director, Julia Marjari Alexander, who's really bossy and told you to be quiet. So thank you, but I think it was worth it, right? Thank you all for being here tonight. As we've said, this institution was given in 1931 by the will of Henry Walters to the city of Baltimore, and at that time, he gave his family's home at 5 West Mount Vernon Place, this palazzo building, which was purpose-built as a museum, 23,000 objects in his art collection, and a portion of his estate for the benefit of the public. In this will and the ensuing city and state ordinances, the city mayor and the city council president were given perpetual trustee status. For over 80 years, the mayors, the city council presidents, and the city council members, along with a committed board of trustees and museum staff, have continued to steward these assets and add to them that Henry gave to us for our benefit. Tonight, we pay special tribute to our state representatives, the city council president, and the mayor for their commitment to ensuring that the Walters Art Museum remains free and open to all, in the words of our founder, again, for the benefit of the public. Not just one portion of the public, not just one group of the public, not people with a certain zip code, but the public, free and open. The Walters enriches our communities. It is an economic and tourism driver for the city and the state. And last year, we welcomed over 155,000 people to this institution. I can tell you, I came here from San Diego. Proportionately, that is a much better number to the greater Baltimore, Washington area than the San Diego Museum of Art ever brought to its public, person to number of population. So go us, right? And although you may think that we're a museum of historic art, we actually are a place where living artists, and you heard 2 of them tonight, come not only to find inspiration, but actual work. We are proud to say that last year we doubled our numbers and brought nearly 400 artists, local, national, and international, to engage with our collections and with our visitors in some way. So the Walters is not just in Baltimore, but we are of Baltimore. And man, did you hear that tonight, right? I mean, thank you, Kendrick and Samuel. And we are able to do this only thanks to your backing. This is a public-private partnership. And it's that partnership that allows us to steward not only the art that we house here, but also these buildings that are entrusted to our care. The generous funding provided by the state and the city of Baltimore form a foundation on which we build the rest of the private funding that is necessary to operate this world-class museum. We are especially grateful to the Maryland General Assembly for supporting the Maryland State Arts Council and the SAI program with robust funding that drops to our annual operating budget. And in recognition of the Maryland General Assembly's commitment to education, arts, and culture in the city of Baltimore, the Walters Board of Trustees tonight offers this resolution. To find it. It offers this resolution in sincere gratitude for their support. May I ask those of you who are from the state representatives to raise your hands? Well, Keith, why don't you come up here, because I know you and I want a selfie with you up here at the podium.
Selfie, please.
Right, but I'm actually not going to read this, so you'll be really happy about that. But Keith, on behalf of the Walters Art Museum and the Board of Trustees, thank you to all of you in the General Assembly of the state for supporting this great museum. And if you can take this back, or actually we'll send it to you, but thank you so much. And it's always really fun to visit him in his office. So thank you, Keith. Keith used to be our representative, but then the districts were realigned, and, but drat. Oh, well.
Maybe we can get
we
that
love
back.
everybody. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Keith.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge the Baltimore City Council with a huge round of applause, just as huge as for the state, but a huge round of applause. They have provided to us a steadfast support for this museum throughout the history of the museum. We work with schools, groups, and individuals in every district in the city, and we want to say thank you on their behalf. A special thank you goes to our councilman, who I don't think could be here. Eric, are you here? So maybe could we bring all the city council representatives who are here up so that we can just have this little picture? Hey, Ryan, how are you? Nice to see you. So I know there are some women on the city council.
There are.
But thank you to the men who showed up. So I will give you this, and we will be. Kat will collect it at the end. But thank you so much. And we love working with all of you, and thank you so much. We're not going to read it because it takes a lot of time, and we have one example that we'll read. But thank you, thank you, thank you. You are our partners. You are the owners of this collection, and so we thank you for making it possible for us to do our great work. Thank you. Thank you. As many of you know, the President of the City Council, Bernard C. Jack Young, has been a tireless champion of the Walters during his tenure, and he continues a tradition of stewardship as outlined in Henry Walters' will. He sent his regrets this evening, and he was unable to be here, and his representative to our board was unable to be here, but we also have a resolution for him, and we will put that in the mail, and it will be great. He really has been a terrific champion for this institution. So let's applaud him in absentia. So finally, from her days in the General Assembly to her days campaigning, and I heard just a minute ago also from her days on the City Council, to today, Catherine Pugh has been a stalwart supporter of the arts organizations in the state, and arts education in Maryland. She has been an incredible proponent in Annapolis and now in Baltimore, for Baltimore in Maryland. And we are honored here tonight to have her to accept this resolution. It reads, hold on, I have to find the right one. Here it is. Would you like to come up to this? I'm going to read this one. So be it hereby known to all that sincerest gratitude is offered to Mayor Catherine Pugh in recognition of her years of commitment to education, to arts, and to culture in the city of Baltimore, and to ensuring that the Walters Art Museum remains free and open for the benefit of the public. We hereby commend her absolute commitment and express our deepest appreciation for her efforts on this 11th day of December 2018, the board of the Walters Art Museum. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'll come back.
So Julia, before you sit down, it is only appropriate that I hand you our certificate of recognition to the Walters Art Gallery. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Let me just say this, you all, just a few words. It's an honor to be here. And more importantly, this is a jewel in our city. And I have always been a friend of the Walters Art Gallery, long before I became a public official, because I realize that the exhibits that are here within these halls are so magnificent. And they're such educational tools, not just for our community, but for the state, the nation, and the world. And, we get to come here and look and gleam at all of these wonderful art pieces, but more importantly, we get to share this institution. And for that, I'm grateful. And I say to our members of the City Council, our state delegation, even our congressional folks, thank you for the support that you provide, because it is in your support that we're able to do so much for so many, especially our young people. I think about the time when we brought the students from the school that I created, the Baltimore Design School, here. And for them to witness the art that is here and to dream beyond what they think they can possibly be, and that's what these kinds of institutions provide for our community, bodes well for our future. I get excited every time I think about the future of Baltimore, in spite of the challenges that we face every day. My heart started to pound when one young lady walked up to me and she said to me, "I just want you to know that we believe in you. But what I want you all to know is that I believe in Baltimore, because we can and will be the greatest city in America. It is because of institutions such as this. It is because of the work that we are doing. Today I got to walk around with a reporter to show him what we were doing with our $57 million investment fund that has already turned into $75 million, because people believe in the neighborhoods of this city that have been underinvested in but can change, because we can make it change. So again, I want to assure you all, because it's important that I say this every chance I get, that one life lost in this city is one life too many. Illegal guns on the streets of our city are unconscionable. But we will stem the tide of violence because of the work that we're doing together. And as I said to Peter Bain, my friend from many moons ago, it was just so good to see you here today. Welcome back to Baltimore. We are so focused on the things that we must do. It begins with making sure that we have all the tools necessary to fight the challenges that are in front of us. But again, institutions such as this makes every day when you wake up a big smile, because we know that there's greatness inside our city. Thank you all for this opportunity.
So I'm going to go off script for just 1 minute and say, people ask me all the time why art museums matter. Art museums matter because they're about you. Humans share some characteristics that we have shared across all time and across the globe. and one of them is creativity that expresses itself in visual means. We can create a better future if we look to the creativity of our past to help us think about ways that we can move forward. Those messages from the past are not always pleasant. Sometimes they're about violence. Sometimes they're about hatred. Sometimes they're about joy and love. But they're from us as humans, from across the globe and throughout time. This museum has objects from over 7,000 years of history, from across the globe and across time. And when I go to Senator Cardin's office and I talk to them about restitution of objects that were stolen at some point from the place of origin, but that we need here to help our Baltimoreans understand what it means to think about world culture and creativity over time across the globe, it's really important that we do that. So when you wake up in the morning and you turn on your TV and you say to yourself, why does the museum matter? It's because you are having a visual experience. When you go to a doctor's office and you look at that MRI or you look at that ultrasound, that is a visual experience. How can you become a better visual consumer? By coming here. The past teaches you about your future. And art museums is the place that you can learn, they are the place that you can learn about that. So don't think that art is a luxury. You live in the most visually sophisticated world since the Middle Ages. It is your responsibility to understand. So thank you to the City of Baltimore. Thank you to the State of Baltimore. Thank you to our congressmen, senators, and women, congressmen and women and senators. I think right now they're only men. But we have a new National Gallery director who is a woman as of today. And we are all humans. So we share that responsibility to make sure that places like the Walters Art Museum are not just here for us. They're not just here for the people who can pay the price of admission because, oh wait, we're free. And we will be free thanks to you. Free is brought to you by all of you. And it is our shared responsibility to make sure that the Walters Art Museum and every arts organization in this city remains free and open for every member of the public, not just for me, not just for my children, but for my children's children and their children, and like the Breck commercial, so on and so on and so on. So thank you for being here tonight. No more speeches, but we do have staff members, if you can raise your hands. Staff, and this is where I get to be, they make it all happen. So this is where I do my best imitation of what I really wanted to be when I was 6 years old. Staff members will be in the Chamber of Wonders and also over in the ancient galleries to help you enjoy your evening. After you've explored great works of art from across time and across the globe, please come back here and enjoy some dessert, some more cocktails, some more food, but most especially conversation. Art should inspire conversation. Our goal is to bring people together to enjoy each other and discover each other through your interactions with works of art. So don't go away thinking that art doesn't matter and that it's a luxury. It is a responsibility, and that is your responsibility. Thank you all for being here tonight.